just want to read a quote of Swami. I usually like to read when it is a Swami's quote because I don't want to make a mistake. So Swami always says, what is the use of having all sorts of qualities if you don't have the good qualities to win the grace of the Lord? So he was saying at that time when this incident had happened, Gunamu konchamundi goppa cheduvulunna palamademi vani viluvademi pantaleni bhumi padi ekaramulunna konchamaina chalu manchi bhumi. Gunamu konchamundi goppa cheduvulunna. If you have very few qualities but many degrees, Phalamademi vani viluvademi. What is the value of that person? If the qualities are few and the degrees, the educational degrees are more. Pantaleni bhumi padi ekaramalunna konchamaina chalu manchi bhumi. What is the use of having 10 acres of land which is not fertile, where nothing grows? What is the use of that land? Even if you have a small piece of land, where you can grow something that is much better. So that he said, so what is the use of going on, maybe attending the bhajans or whatever that we may do, if we don't practice at least a few things and fertilize our hearts? Swami said, we have to fertilize our heart and make that bhumi, hridaya bhumi, as a panta bhumi. He said, it has to become a fertilized land. Your heart has to become fertile with love. And all these qualities, no point having all the education in the world, all the homes, all the cars, whatever we may think is valuable. Because that man has no value if he does not have character, or that woman has no value if there is no character of beauty or divine character within that person. So that is one of the lessons that Swami has taught. I never say that I have learned, because we know over and over again that we find that we are failing in many of the things. So it is just a journey, and as you go along, you make the mistakes and you remind yourself that, oh, I failed one more time. I have to work on this. Whether it is one's anger, whether it is talking, whether it is criticizing, whatever may be our weakness, we have to keep on fertilizing our heart so that the weeds are removed one at a time, and it becomes more and more fertile so that he can reside in that heart in a peaceful way. So very soon I thought I will talk about 2 incidents that happened in the Akhanda Bhajan, and after that I know it is Deepavali and you all want to go home and celebrate with your families also. The reason I am bringing Akhanda Bhajan into the picture is next weekend is Akhanda Bhajan. We all do Akhanda Bhajan. I'm sure that is not the case here, but we also do Akhanda Bhojan. Throughout the 24 hours, there are cookies, there is juice, there is fruit, there is this, there is that. There are more people many times outside in the dining hall than in the bhajan hall. Many times this kind of a thing happens. But I want to tell you a little bit about the Akhanda Bhajan, because as Dr. Mohan said, my grand uncle, that is my grandfather's elder brother, Shri Sheshagiri Rao, he started this Akhanda Bhajan. So I thought that this may be a good idea to share that a little bit with you all, because you are all going to participate, I'm sure, all through the night and early hours of the morning, and not only between 4 and 6 and 6 and 8 on Saturday and Sunday. Because he is there at all hours of that Akhanda Bhajan. He is present. I was not born at that time. This is the only time I regret that I am not older. I wish I was born in the 1940s, when my older cousins were able to enjoy his presence even more as a family member than I did. But what had happened was, in 1943, my grand uncle had gone to Puttaparthi. He had seen him, and as doctor mentioned in the introduction, he had remained in Puttaparthi from 1943 till 1968 till he died. He never left Puttaparthi other than with Swami. He only went wherever Swami went. He stayed back. He was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, and he had a vision of Shiva and stayed back. When my cousins, his daughters, that is my aunts, when they went to see Swami, Swami himself used to sing songs and bhajans in those days because there were no devotees to sing and no devotees to follow also. So Swami used to sing, and these ladies, my aunts, were very good singers. So they all used to sing Tyagaraja Kritis or Purandara Dasa, Devar Namas, and Swami would enjoy that, and they would all do bhajan together in the evening. They enjoyed it so much in Prashanti Nilayam that when they came back in 1943, they said, oh, on every Thursday, why don't we also do bhajan here in Bangalore? Why only when we go to Puttaparthi? Because the journey to Puttaparthi was extremely difficult in those days. You would have read it in the books, and I have also described our journeys many times going to Puttaparthi. It was extremely difficult even when I was a child. So they decided every Thursday that they would do bhajans among the 8 families who became the first devotees by rotation. Because the World War was going on, so these ladies with 1 or 2 men who were all busy working, Thursday being a work day, would take, because after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock there used to be a curfew, so there were no lights. They would carry a flashlight or a lantern and go to whosever house the bhajan was that Thursday by walking, because there was no public transportation in Bangalore. They would walk 2 or 3 miles to somebody's home, to my other aunt's home. So like this they did the bhajan. Between 1943 to 1944, for 1 year they did every Thursday by rotation. So in 1945, after completing the 1 whole year of the Thursday bhajans, these family members, they were all relatives, all cousins, they said 1 year we have completed without missing a single Thursday. Let us do a 24 hours. They didn't name it Akhanda Bhajan or anything. They said let us do 24 hours, let us do Namasmarana. And let us take Swami's permission and do that. We can all get together. And we will start on a Thursday and end on a Friday morning. Thursday morning to Friday morning, we will do that. So they wrote a letter to my grand uncle, who had now become the personal attendant of Swami. I told you, he went to Puttaparthi and never came back. He used to look after Swami till he died in 1968. He used to iron Swami's clothes, do his sheets, wash his clothes, everything he used to do. He stayed back with Swami. They wrote a letter to him saying that, can you please ask Swami's permission, that is it okay for us to do 24 hours Nirantara Namasmarana for 24 hours. So they wrote a letter. So my grand uncle was extremely excited. What a nice idea. These girls, his 2 daughters and sons, brothers, sons, everybody has done this 8 families. And he told Swami that all the children have finished 1 year, Swami, of doing Thursday bhajans. They want to do 24 hours if you give permission. He said, Chala bagunde, very nice idea, very good. You write a letter to them saying that we are also coming for that. So these are all middle class people staying in small houses in Bangalore, very middle class. You know, my aunts and their husbands, they were not at all wealthy, not much money at all, but very devoted, pious people. So they got a letter from the father saying that Swami is very, very happy. He has said that he would like to participate in the bhajan, and he says you to see a good day, which day you are going to do, and write. So these people thought this is a big problem. If he comes, how are we going to look after him? We have the Lord himself. If he comes, our houses are small. We have 2 or 3 children. There is no place for him to sleep. We don't want him to come. If he blesses, that is enough. So they wrote back saying, "Mem Swami piluvaledo, we did not invite Swami." So this is the story of our life, which is very nice as long as he is in the photo. If we really see him there, it becomes a problem for Sheila. Because now she has to serve food for everybody. Everybody is here. What shall we do for Swami? It becomes a problem if Swami is really, we can see with our eyes. So they wrote very candidly that we don't have the ability to look after this Bhagwan. So if he give us his Ashirvadam, blessings, that is more than enough for us. No photos also in those days. In 1944, no photo of Swami's also. So they were thinking we will get some photo from somewhere and keep it and do it. So they got organized and they wanted to do the bhajan, and they decided on a particular Thursday in the month of February, and they were going to do it when that Sunday, the Sunday before that Thursday, they received a telegram from Bukkapatnam saying Bayildernaamo. We have already left. Their letter has gone by one mail. We got a telegram. We have already. So now forget about him coming on Thursday through Friday. He is arriving on Sunday itself. Bigger problem. 4 days. So that is how the Lord arrived for the Akhanda Bhajan. And he came and said, Sundaramma, this was my aunt, my father's first cousin. Where is the hall where you are going? What hall, Swami? There is no hall. No, they don't. We have just, what are you going to do about prasadam? From Thursday through Friday, we do upavasam. We don't eat. Friday, we are going to cook pongal. And for that pongal, because of this curfew and ration, every family has donated 2 kgs of rice and 2 kgs of sugar or whatever it is. On Friday morning after the Mangalarti, we are going to, after the Arti, we are going to make pongal. That is all we have planned. Oh, is that right? Then Vittal Rao, you may have, though some of you may be aware of this lady, Jayamma, who is in Prashanti Nilayam. She is one of the wardens for the Anantapur College. Her father was there. Swami, he used to be, I think, in the police or something, I believe. So Swami had brought him also. I said, Vittal Rao, these ladies all want to do bhajan. Where do you think they should do? So I said, this is a very good idea, Swami. We have that police hall or something somewhere in this place. We can do it there. So Swami said, see, the hall is there. Why don't we do it in the hall? So, okay, this bag and baggage, they all went to look at the hall, including Swami. On Monday morning, it was in this hall. Okay, this hall is there. What are you going to do for the photo? So my aunt was very good at talking to Swami. So Swami, why do we want photo? You only sit here. Why do we need a photo when you are here? They never had a photo in the first Akhanda Bhajan. Swami said that they did the bhajan. So, photo. Okay, correct. That's also that. Then he said, no, maybe one black and white photo because how can I sit for 24 hours? One black and white photo. Then they got ready, these 8 families all together, some 35, 40, some 20, 29 ladies and some 10, 15 gents. All together are going to sing the bhajan for 24 hours. So they are all getting ready. Everybody has brought their rice. Nothing. Friday morning they have to make some pongal and things. Looking after. So they all told Swami, you better stay in the house because in this hall there is no kitchen. There is nothing here. We can't cook for you. You stay. He says, no, what are you people going to do? Whatever you are doing, I am doing. I am a family member. You can't shoo me off somewhere to the house. So he was constantly built. And then on Thursday morning, the bhajan has to start. Suddenly on Wednesday night, all sorts of people started to come to this hall while they are arranging the altar. So these people said, who are all of you people? This is a private function, you know. Who are you people coming? They said, no, we are a group of Sai devotees from Mysore. There are 30 of us. Swami came in the dream and told us there is a function. We don't have rice for our 29 people. 35 have arrived with babies and old ladies and all. Then, okay, well, how can you send them away? Atiti Devo Bhava, okay, come, whatever there is, we will adjust. Suddenly another 15, we have come from Madras. Swami came and sent word through somebody. Swami, what is this? Swami also said, I only told Sheshgir Rao's family is having very nice bhajan for one whole day, you all come. Then I had one aunt, many of you have heard me speak before, I won't go into that, otherwise you will never get home to Deepavali. But this old aunt, she used to look after Swami when he was a small child of 5 years. She was from Puttaparthi. My mother's aunt, one lady was there. She used to speak in a very familiar way to Swami because she was an older lady and she knew Swami since he was a 5-year-old boy. So when they started to get ready with all this rice and everything, she caught Swami's hand and said, Swami, we are doing this in your name. Now you have to look after our reputation. Everybody has come. How are we going to... We only have this much of rice and this much of sugar and there is curfew. We can't go to the city to buy because after 6 p.m. nobody is allowed to go out into the streets. How are we going to do? You come here and you tell us what. See, this is the rice, this is the sugar. What do you want us to do for tomorrow morning? Don't worry, Sakamma. Her name was also Savitrama. They used to call her Sakamma. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. He materialized some rice grains and put it in the sack of that rice. You make prasadam, it will be enough for these people, you don't know. So they said, okay, Swami said Akshayam, Akshayam, Akshayam 3 times, put this rice there and went and sat on the chair for the bhajan went up. So you can all imagine now, to do 24 hours bhajan, we have to request so many people. Can you come from 1 to 2? Can you come from 2 to 3? Can you come from 5 to 6? Just 30 people, 24 hours, without eating, doing fasting, because they want to purify their mind and body of the desires for the food. Other than the desire for Swami's lotus feet, they didn't want anything. They did the bhajan and Swami sat there for 24 hours because he said that you have tied my feet and hands with your bhakti. I can't go anywhere even if I want to go. So he sat. That is Akhanda Bhajan. So they finished this Akhanda Bhajan and they started to give the prasadam and they told Swami, let us go home now. We have to give you lunch and everything. They will distribute the prasadam and they'll come. Pongal prasadam. They started to distribute this sweet rice. And my mother, to this day, she says that she has never forgotten that after 4 hours, their arms began to feel like it's going to fall off. All the villagers in the surrounding villages started to come. Somebody is giving prasadam. Hundreds of villagers came thinking there is free prasadam. And they served and served and served. And this pongal is not getting over. And they are all very traditional people. You don't throw away the prasadam. So what to do? They are serving, there is more. They are serving, there is more. Finally, they came back to the Bangalore city where Swami was in my aunt's house. And one of them fell at Swami's feet and said, Swami, please stop the increasing of food. We cannot serve anymore. We are tired. We have sung all night long. We have made pongal. We are going on serving. We can't serve anymore. And then Swami said, see, you people all had doubt whether that pongal will be enough or not. I told you, don't doubt. You didn't believe me. Okay, now finish it and come. So that was the first Akhanda Bhajan, where just a few families started with the love of Swami and love of Namasmaran, in which they were able to bring Swami. Even then they told him, please don't come, we cannot give you any facilities. He said, I will come, because I am not coming to your house, I am coming to your heart. How can you stop me from entering your heart when you are singing with devotion? That was their Akhanda Bhajan. So I grew up with these Akhanda Bhajan stories. By the time I was born and I started to attend the Akhanda Bhajans as a small child, there were innumerable Akhanda Bhajan stories like this. Every year, something miraculous like this would happen and it became a part of our family history. In fact, the first Vibhuti Abhishekam in the pot that you see in the videos was done in this Akhanda Bhajan with an empty pot in the Akhanda Bhajan. After Swami did that, apparently he joked and said, oh, I can do this in Puttaparthi also. So for Navaratri he started to do on Vijayadashmi Day. So that's how it went on. By the time I became a young girl and was able, and I was very fortunate to travel back and forth along with Swami and my father in the car. Swami used to come and stay in our house. And being traditional people, Swami used to come on Wednesdays. Thursday morning we used to start after Rahu Kalam Akhanda Bhajan. Swami would light the lamps and the Akhanda Bhajan would start. And on Friday we used to do Arati, Mahamangalarati to Swami. Swami would do Abhishekam to Shirdi Sai Baba's statue in the Akhanda Bhajan. And after that he would come to my father's house around 11 o'clock and he would sit down and rehash the whole Akhanda Bhajan. This bhajan was good. You didn't sing properly. You missed one beat. That bhajan was very good. All that, and then he would remember some of the bhajans and sing that bhajan again. It was very good. So this was the Akhanda bhajans that I grew up with Swami. And then Swami would start after lunch on Friday. I want to go back now. And my aunts and my mother would say, no Swami, today is Friday. You are Mahalakshmi. You have come to our house. We will not send you on a Friday. So they will say, Swami says, I don't know, I have to go. Somehow they would keep him until Saturday he would stay and leave on Saturday. So in one of the Akhanda Bhajan, I will tell you this incident. It's a beautiful incident that's close to my heart, and after that we can get on with whatever we are doing. That one young man who had lot of this Dharma patches. He was a beautiful singer. He came to my father. Everybody in our neighborhood at that time, there were not that many devotees. And suddenly, in the middle of some month, which had no festival, they would see big rangolis in front of the house and green leaves, mango leaves being tied and banana, this thing plants tied. They would know Sai Baba must be coming. Because today is not a festival, suddenly why the house is looking so festive, my father's house. So everybody would come and ask, is Sai Baba coming? Is Sai Baba coming? Because suddenly there is no festival, so much of decoration for the house. So this young man came to know and he came. He was a very good singer. He came to my father and said, sir, must be Sai Baba is coming to your house. Yes, he is coming tomorrow for the Akhanda Bhajan. So he said, sir, that I'm 27, 28 years old. I would like to get married and all that. But I have these patches all over my face and body. Will you please allow me to talk to Sai Baba? I believe he does miracles and all those things. I want to get cured. But he was a very good singer. He used to attend bhajans once in a while. So my father said, I cannot speak on your behalf. You are a very good singer. Why don't you come to the Akhanda Bhajan? You also sing there. If Swami wants to see you, he will see. I can. So that young man was very upset that, you are so close to him. Why don't you tell him? We cannot tell on anybody's behalf to Swami. My father said, no, you please come there. So anyway, Swami came to the Akhanda Bhajan. To our house, he came to the Akhanda Bhajan in a hall called Gayana Samaja in Bangalore. That was where the Akhanda Bhajan. By that time, many people used to come for the bhajan. It was still a family function, but people used to come. Everybody came, Swami came to the Akhanda Bhajan, lit the lamp, bhajan started. This young man also sat in the front. Beautifully he sang many bhajans and all that. Swami came back for lunch. So he was going back and forth from the hall to our house many times. Then at about 8:30 in the evening, he finished his last round of darshan in the Akhanda Bhajan and came home for dinner. My mother, there were very few people, only my mother, myself, my father were there. My mother served Swami his dinner. And then Swami said, Kamlamma, all the program now in the house is over. I'm going to go and take rest. Why don't you go and attend the bhajan? Because my mother never used to go to the bhajan. Since Swami used to be in our house, she used to be very busy looking after, all the guests that Swami brought and everything. So he said, you go. And he told my brother, you take your mother to the bhajan. So myself, my father and other elderly aunt and Swami, only 4 of us in the house. My mother went away to the bhajan. After a little while, about 9:15, it just started to rain and thunderstorm, it was pouring cats and dogs. And Swami was just sitting in our living room and talking to my father. And I used to, all the time, my job as a small girl was to fill up. At that time, Swami used to use pan. So my job was to fill up his pan box with leaves and betel nut and chunnam and all that. That every now and then you had to check to make sure. Swami used to eat a lot of pan. So my job every now and then. With this reason, I used to sit near his sofa. And whenever any elders used to say, move, you are always sitting there. I said, no, I have to check his pan box. So I used to sit there near the feet. So suddenly Swami, it was pouring like anything. Suddenly Swami said, Padmana, bring the car. I want to go back to the bhajan hall. My father was very protective of Swami. So no, Swami, it is raining like anything. You have already spent, Swami had spent about 7 or 8 hours in the bhajan hall already. Very tired, Swami. You just came from Puttaparthi yesterday evening. Early morning I will take you, Swami. You rest now. No, you bring the car. Again my father said, it's really raining. Swami, why don't you go in the morning? He said, no, Padma, bring the car to the front of the door, he said. So my father brought the car and I was sitting, unless Swami tells you to come, you can't go. Even though I used to go everywhere. Hey, Nuvura, he said, you also come. So we 3 of us went to the car. It was raining and my father, we came to Gayana Samaja. And on one entrance was the ladies' entrance. It's a big hall. And on the other side was the men's. Swami entered through the gents' entrance. I came in through the ladies' entrance and sat down like this in the front row. First, next to the aisle. Swami had always told me you have to sit there near the aisle because if Swami's chair is on the men's side, and just with his eyes he would indicate, get up. Because when he wants to leave, I have to go and sit in the car before him, Because suddenly if Swami comes, people are crowding. And if I'm not there, then once Swami gets into the car, he can't wait for me to come from the ladies' side and sit him. So before he would move from the chair, just with the eyes he will say. So I would just get up and crawl out and go and sit in Swami's car. And then my father and Swami will come from the gents side. So I was sitting there, and on the men's side was this young man. Swami walked in and he was singing a bhajan, and he didn't realize it was about 10 o'clock or 10:15 in the night. Nobody was, hardly anybody in the hall. Same thing that we see even to this day. After 6 to 8 and dinner, everybody will go. Because Swami also is gone. And then tomorrow morning, by the time someone like Sheila will get idli and all that ready, everybody will be back. So, same thing, all the devotees had gone. Few of my cousins and all used to stay all night and sing. And this young man was singing with his eyes closed. Didn't realize Swami has walked in. Swami came and stood in front of the microphone. There was a mic in front of him. I cannot forget this incident to this day. Swami had both his hands behind his back and he's swaying to the bhajan. And this boy was singing beautifully. Darsha dikhao mere sai nandalala. You know that bhajan. He's singing Darsha dikhao mere sai nandalala. Oh Sai, give me your darshan. And has not realized that Sai has come. In front of him, his eyes closed and tears and beautiful voices singing. Everybody is observing. Swami is enjoying the bhajan so much that boy doesn't know. And he finished the bhajan and he opened his eyes. And you can imagine the expression on his eye. I was sitting on the eye. He was so shocked to see this beautiful Lord standing in front of him swaying. Swami just bent like that over the microphone and touched his forehead. Because he was so moved. And he bowed and Swami touched. And Swami walked out, looked at me, come. And I'm looking at this boy in that split second. Not a single patch on his face or his body. Swami has left the room. I am just staring at this fellow. Because 1 minute ago he is having all the patches and nothing is there. And the man next to him said, hey, look at your hands, that fellow. He's supposed to be singing a bhajan. He has stopped. Look at your hands. He's coming in the microphone. That boy looks at his hands, nothing. By which time Swami has reached to the side and one glare at me. What are you doing staring like that on the men's side? So we ran out and got into the car. Swami also came, but that's a split second. He spent 5 minutes in the hall. Got into the car. It is raining like anything. And I said, Swami, that was a small girl, 9, 10 years old. Swami, one chet me demi ledu. I said, Swami, he's on his arms, nothing on his hands. I said, thanks. I know. And this curiosity and the doubt is such a thing, even when you're a child. I said, Swami, I used to talk very freely because, like I said, when you're young, you don't have anything to fear. I said, Swami, whole day, you were sitting in the bhajan from 10:30 in the morning. Why didn't you cure that fellow? He has sung so many bhajans. Why go home, have dinner, everything, and then the rain is pouring in this house, rain and thunderstorm. You have to get in the car and come back again to cure this. Why didn't you cure him in the morning, Swami? Swami said, that's true. He was singing in the morning also, correct? Yes, Swami, that's the question here. That's the question. So he said, all through the day, whenever he was singing, he was thinking, maybe when I sing this bhajan, he will come and cure me. Maybe when I sing this bhajan, he will come near me. Maybe when I sing this bhajan, he will finally give me an interview. He is thinking more about his body than he was thinking about me. Finally at 10 o'clock, when he thought that I have already left, he felt, anyway he has gone till tomorrow morning, no chance. So at that point of time, he really started to sing to me. Because he thought I am not there. At that time, I could not bear to stay in the house. His devotion and bhakti dragged me in the rain, see? So I had to wait 10 hours to cure him. So wait. That is what we started this talk today. Wait. He also waits for us. One day I was in an interview room and one man was very happy that he had been called for an interview. And he was crying in the interview room. Somebody said, why are you crying so much here? I I'm not looking so ugly, Swami said. Why are you crying and seeing me so much? He said, no, Swami. I have waited for 10 years, Swami, for an interview. Finally, today you have called me. And very casually, Swami, తెలుసులే నేను 10 జన్మాలు కాచినాను నీకోసం. You waited for 10 years for interview, but I waited for 10 lifetimes for you to come to me. So wait. You have taken your own sweet time to think about me. But the minute you think about me, you want me to call you for interview, whatever it is. I have waited for 10 lifetimes for you to realize that there is a God, for you to realize there is a spiritual path. I have waited 10 lifetimes. You have only waited 10 years. It's not much, Swami said, not much. Not much. So my dear brothers and sisters, I hope with the Akhanda Bhajan coming near, we are all able to do Sai Namasmana with all our heart. So that like that young man, we are able to draw him to us with our devotion. Wherever we are, at whatever time of the day it may be. Swami once said, it is not important that you come to me. It is important that I come to you, he said. For him to come to us, we have to purify ourselves through Namasmarana, through satsangs, through doing good activities, through doing seva, whatever may be our tool. For each person it is different. If we do that, definitely and surely, even though we are waiting, he is waiting more eagerly for us. He is waiting more eagerly for us. So if we can both finish our wait, we can see him anytime we want it, any time of the day. That is my faith and that is my belief. So I hope today, with these thoughts in our mind, we can continue our life's journey with trying to purify ourselves so that he comes to us, even though we come to him every Thursday or Sunday for the bhajan. Let him come to us every day. That is what our prayer should be. Happy Deepavali to all of you. May you all have a wonderful next coming year. Thank you, Sarah. Anybody who knows can share an answer if I don't know.
I have a question. Not a question, but...
You see that there is the proof in the...
No, I think you should relate that 100, 100 thing.
Oh.
I think it might be...
Okay, thank you. At least it's not a question.
May I have it?
No, he's talking about what he said during this talk, that Swami has been one of the most wonderful avatars that have given a roadmap for our life. How, having been born as a human being, we should lead our lives to reach it. The goals are very high, but he says it is possible for all of us to achieve that if we practice. And what he is talking about is a very beautiful roadmap that Swami has given. Actually, when I was 20 years old, when it was my birthday, I always used to take some roses to Swami. And he had asked me, all those years I have taken for my birthday roses to Swami, he had always blessed me and given me. But that particular year when I turned 20, he asked me, how old are you? So I said, 20, Swami. Oh, what are the numbers in 20? He asked me. 2 and 0. What is the meaning of that? He said. I don't know. How do you know the meaning of 2 and 0? I only know it's 20. And he said 20 means at the age of 20 you must develop Shraddha and Bhakti. This was the message that had been in my head when I said the same thing to Swami when I had my children. So 20 years, Shraddha and Bhakti. So I was 24 when I had my children and that was what came to my mouth. You should develop Shraddha and Bhakti when you are 20, Bhagavan. That's what 2 and 0 means. So I was very thrilled. Oh, very good. From now on, I should practice this. So a few days we will practice and after that we will forget about it, as I did also in my case, and life went on. After that also I went many years for my birthday. He didn't ask me anything. He would bless me, give me vibhuti and all that. I was fortunate enough for my 30th birthday, I was again there in Vrindavan. How old are you today? He asked, because I had taken the flowers. 30, Swami. Oh, 30 is it? What are the numbers in 3 and 0 and already the brain is running. What does this mean? Now he's going to ask me, I know. So I said, what is the meaning of 3 and 0? I don't know, Swami. 3 and 0. So I said, oh, Trikarna Shuddhi. He said, purity of thought, word and action. He said, purity. That's what you should practice at the age of 30. So I said, oh, okay. So for a few days, you're absolutely truthful and get into trouble because you tell somebody that sari doesn't suit you or something very truthful like this, and get into trouble. So a few days that also went by. 40th birthday also, I was very fortunate, I was there. How old are you? He asked me in the interview. He's getting old now. 4 and 0. What are the numbers? 4 and 0. Oh, 4 and 0. What is the meaning of 4 and 0? So by now I know that anyway I don't know, Swami. You only told me, Swami, I don't know. So I said, see, by 4 and 0, by 40 I was married, I had children, I was in the Grihastha ashram, leading a married life and all that. So he said, you have to follow the Purusharthas. What are the Purusharthas? He said. So I knew, at least I knew that Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma is righteousness, Artha is wealth, and Kama is desire, and then Moksha is liberation. So he said, at the age of 40, the way you have to practice these Purusharthas, these 4 rules, is you must earn your wealth dharmically. Dharma, Artha. So you must earn Artha, the wealth, by Dharma. By using Dharma only, righteously, you must earn your wealth. Kama, Moksha. He said your desire should be for Moksha, for liberation. Your desire should be for liberation, but you have to earn your wealth dharmically because you do need money to lead this worldly life. Then he said, hey, don't forget 20 and 30. This is in addition to, not just to separate, finish that. So, Shraddha Bhakti at 20, you have to practice. I have given you 10 years time, he said. At 20, Shraddha and Bhakti, practice it for 10 years. If you practice Shraddha and Bhakti for 10 years, at the age of 30, it should be easy to have purity in thought, word and action. If you have devotion and sincerity, you should have. And then if you have purity in thought, word and action, then it should be easy to earn wealth with dharma, with righteousness, and have desire for it. He told me that 40. After that, I didn't see him. For my other birthday, he didn't ask me. A few days I practiced, then I forgot about it, and that was the end of that story. Then it was my father's 80th birthday. And Swami had organized my father's 80th birthday in Prashanti Museum, and he had asked us all to go. So we went for his 80th birthday. And there, Swami, we were all in the interview room, and he asked my father, Padmanabh, how old are you? Oh, I started to poor my father, now what is he going to do? My father cannot tell anything. So he said, 80, Swami. But Swami didn't ask my father, he looked at me and said, what are the numbers? 8 and 0. I'm thinking, what is 8 and 0? I only know 20, 30, 40. What happened to 50, 60, 70? He has come to 80. Before Swami said, I don't know what 80 is, Swami, you only. And then I said, I don't know what is 50 and 60 and 70 also, Swami. Why did we jump to 80? So he said, okay, you tell what you know. So I said, 20 years, at the age of 20, practice steadfastness and devotion. If you do that for 10 years, 30 years, you should be able to purify your thought, words and action. If you do that for 10 years, 40 years, then you should earn your wealth with dharmically and have desire toward liberation. 50, I don't know, Swami. Until 50, he said, not yet, Swami. So, okay, 50, he said, this body is made up of 5 elements. 5 elements. So, because of that, your 5 senses are very active because your body is made up of 5 elements. So, all that you take in through your senses, your eyes, your ears, your mouth, the 5 senses, whatever you take in, it has to be pure food. Otherwise, the senses will control you. You will not be able to control your senses. So, at the age of 50, practice controlling your senses. 60. So, he says that plus, no deletion here. 20, 30, you have to go on adding. Age of 60, what? 6. You have to get rid of the 6 enemies. Shadripus, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, all the desire, anger, envy, jealousy, all these 6 enemies that you have to practice trying to get rid of that by the time you get to 60. 10 years, if you are controlling your 5 senses, that should not be difficult. 60. 70, he said, so if you conquer your 6 enemies, at the age of 70, you should become like the Sapta Rishis, the great 7 sages in our Hindu mythology. And what about these sages? They are on the land and doing seva, community service to all the people because they are great sages. But whenever they want, they can go and see the Lord. They have permission to see the Lord whenever they want because they are doing so much of loving seva. At the age of 70, you should become like the Saptarishis. Serve your community so that you can have the darshan of the Lord whenever you want. 80. What is 80? You should become like the Ashtadikpalakas, the 8 deities that protect the universe in all the 8 directions, north, south, east, west, northeast, southeast. All those 8 deities are there. What do? All that they do is they work for the Lord and protect the Lord's interests. You should become like that at the age of 80. You should have no other attachment to family and friends and this and that. Only your goal must be to serve the Lord, like these 8 deities. At the age of 90, if you practice all these things, don't forget 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. At the age of 90, you should become like the Navagrahas, the 9 planets, the 9 divine planets. What do? They go on revolving around the sun. Like that, your mind should only revolve around the Lord and nothing else. No babysitting great-grandchildren and all those. Your mind should only be on the Lord. Even if you do that, that also should become an Namasmarana. Only on the Lord. And then when you reach the age of 100, which is supposed to be the divine ripe age for a human being, what are the numbers? 100. There is nothing left except you and I are one. What a beautiful way. That's what he was saying, that in my father's 80th birthday, he said every human being should follow this path so that you can become one with the Lord. Okay. Any other question? I don't think the questions are meant to go on for so long.
After Swami left his body, when you think of Swami, do you think of him in the form that you are used to, or do you think of him this way?
No, I think of him with the form that I'm used to. And in fact, I suppose that is my growth, spiritual growth that I need because I'm still very, very attached to that form. Since that's the only form that I am, I'm more attached to that form than even my own parents or my own family because that is the form that has impacted my life throughout my life. So I continue to miss him and I continue to long to hear his voice and see his laughter and sparkle. At the same time, I continue to pray that I get beyond the form and I am able to see him in all of us. I'm trying. I have to work on that.
After you left the body, can you share some of your experiences of Swami after you left the body? If it is okay.
If you don't mind, that is a little personal. Okay, good. Enough.
Actually, sorry, Sarah. We have a lot of children here, so obviously being in school and being exposed to so many different ideas and thoughts, and some of them may or may not have been to Berkeley. So, what? It's great for them to have heard, the personal experiences that you shared today. But what kind of advice, would you give them? Whatever comes to your mind.
To the children?
Specifically to the children, which of course adults will also benefit from that advice.
Right. The way I have seen it, and of course I did have the benefit of Swami's physical form, but I think the first, of course, the responsibility lies with the parents to make sure that the children develop first and foremost that faith in the Lord. You call him Sai Baba, you call him Ramakrishna, the name is not important. But the children have to get the feeling of faith that there is something that is a higher energy that is always there with them. If we first try to inculcate them through attending the bhajans or satsang or temple or whatever is most easy for that particular family, we cannot say going to the church or whatever may be the thing. I think that's the first one. And from the beginning, that is what I did to my children. is that even if mummy is not around, Swami is around. I used to tell them. So they started to develop the habit of just talking to Swami. Swami, I am going to play my cycle. Will you come with me? They used to say. So you try to develop in the children that there is somebody who is looking after them all the time. So that I think is in very young children. But as the children grow older, whether we like it or not, the role models are the parents. If we say one thing and do something different, we cannot tell the children to do anything. If we cannot practice what we tell them, we cannot tell them. So the biggest responsibility lies on the parents' shoulders. But then the main thing that Swami told my children is that discipline has to be there at a young age. He said now, and he included me this, in the present day world, parents give in to every desire of the child. The child has to be, sometimes disciplining the child is actually love, he said. Because out of love for your child, you have to do so. So discipline and love, they have to go, the two sides of the coin. You cannot just keep on loving them with no discipline. If you want them to follow this roadmap, if the world is the map, then it's different. But if you want this roadmap that Swami has said is good for us, then you have to give them discipline and love, both. Those are the two things. As far as the children are concerned, he said, the parent is the first God that you see, and you can never repay that gratitude. Pay rent. He said, you have to go on paying the rent for parent. As long as you live, you have to pay that rent. There is no question. So the children have to develop first and foremost respect and love for the parents and elders around them, for the teachers around them. Whoever the teacher may be, teach them respect. And the other thing that he told my children when they got to college level was, he said, first, 3 S's he said. Study, that is your job. You are in school, you are in college. Study, that is your first job. You are a student, so study. Second job, he said the body requires exercise. Play sports. Swami said sports. Go and play sports. I will be there watching you from the bleachers, he told my son. Even if there is nobody in the basketball court, it's okay. Because all the students on Friday night are going clubbing. But my sons would be playing basketball. Because Swami told them how many goals he made. He said, I was sitting in the bleacher watching you on a Friday night when you did not go clubbing. So these are the incidents we have to tell the children. So sports. And then third S, he said, sing. Namasmarana, bhajan, sing. Sing good songs. Songs that touch your heart. So study, sports and sing. And he said very beautifully, Saiku Yappudu, yes, yes, yes. If you do these 3 things, I will also say, yes, yes, yes. Saiku Yappudu, yes, yes, yes. Shri Satya Sai, yes, yes, yes. So study, sing and sport. So for each level, he gave different messages. But for students, he said that most important thing, of course, is to study respectful to the parents. But first, also to develop love for God. And then the fourth thing, much later, he said, whenever you get the time, you do service. One more S. Service. So when nowadays I know, but you know what Swami said? Don't do service to get into MIT and Harvard only. To put in the resume. Swami was very forward in his thinking. He knows, the children are going and doing service to put it in their all-round, that resume for the college. Not service to get into MIT and Harvard. Service to please Sai. Service to please Sai. That is some of the few things that he told my children. Thank you. Thank you.
Geetha, I really don't know how to express my gratitude to you and Mohan. And I'm telling the others, basically, to my understanding, she's the most desired speaker all over the world, not just as it in the US or India. Ms. Aisha, she's most foreign speaker, and for her to accept our invitation to come here and share her experience with us is really, really remarkable. And I don't know how Sheila convinced her, but thank you. I was thanks only for
Lovely Diwali celebration.
हे गणनाथा गजानना हे गणनाथा गजानना
चित चोरा यशोदा के बाल